What is up, everybody? We're back with another video for Black Men in Tech. Shout out to everybody who is checking out this video, checking out the channel. Thank you guys so much, and I really do appreciate it. If you guys don't know, my name is William over here from Before the Billions. So today we're going to be looking at this video and this article from CNBC that is saying that Figma has just been acquired by Adobe, a huge business move that actually is going to affect the pretty much the industry standards for graphic design. The reason why I wanted to talk about this is because I use and utilize Figma in order to help me to create websites as well. I used it in order to be able to create my own website, beforethebillions.com, in addition to WordPress. But if you guys had watched any of my late night work sessions on the Before the Billions channel, you guys know that I can swear by using Figma, and I also used to utilize Adobe XD as well, because that was actually the first tool that I used to be able to create mock-ups for websites. And it also had prototyping as well, where you were able to utilize that tool and be able to make movements and be able to see exactly what transitions you wanted to do. And also with Figma, they also then allowed you to be able to turn whatever design you created into code for the developers, right? So it was, both of them are extremely cool. We'll see exactly what happens with these two tools. I don't know if they're going to combine them two, or if they're going to have their own autonomy between Figma, and then also you'll have Adobe, which is Adobe XD. And then, of course, you have the whole Adobe Creative Cloud as well, which you have to pay a subscription for, which I do not feel like paying for. There are a whole bunch of different alternatives, but I wanted to go ahead and bring this up because I'm extremely passionate about this specific topic, and it is then still related to tech as well, more so talking about business acquisition. So let's go ahead and get into the video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Also, guys, I have some more interviews coming up. I will have a card at the top right corner, so that way you guys can go check out the last interview that I just put up on the channel. Please go check it out. Have some more coming up into the future. All right, so with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the video.
I love the game. I love the hustle, man.
All right, so we have the article from CNBC in their text section. This is titled $20 billion Figma deal is a historic coup for startup investors in an otherwise miserable year. Guys, I've heard this. I don't want to, make sure that it's anything brand new or anything like that. But I have heard that we are in a recession right now. So, it's a lot of things going on, like the housing interest rates have gone up, skyrocketing like 6%, when it used to be like 2.7%, 2.6% just last year, back in March and in June of last year. And I'm sitting over here thinking like, oh my gosh, everything is going up so much. So, and then also you have a lot of companies freezing their hiring. I'll do some more videos on that into the future. But let's go ahead and get into this as well, because I do like the fact that they point out that it is a miserable year, especially for a lot of these different companies. All right, so this was just posted just 4 hours ago, right? So this was posted on September 15th. So that's today. So if you guys don't know, at the time of this recording, this has just happened. So it's pretty fresh. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. There's a video right here. So we're going to go ahead and watch this video, and then we'll move on to the actual article.
Adobe's Shantanu Narayan joined us earlier last hour.
The deal is really all about the top line and accelerating top line. You know, we're an extremely profitable company. And what we have said is we have some aggressive goals in terms of being able to make this accretive in year 3, which is rapid, as well as driving top line growth. So, you know, I think from the perspective of shareholders, what we've said is we will offset, dilution while the transaction's underway. But we believe that it rapidly actually enables us to accelerate our bottom line EPS as well.
Still, shareholders, of course, of Adobe, not too thrilled about today's news. However, to your point, Carl, earlier, it is kind of creating this sense of optimism potentially around the deal market. This is a $20 billion deal, the largest takeover of a private software company. So, you know, in this current environment where M&A has been, you know, few and far between, something like a $20 billion tech deal definitely is something that people are paying attention to.
Yeah, David, I kind of wish you were on set today because it was louder than usual, a multi-billion-dollar M&A deal and an IPO. Almost a taste of yesterday.
Yeah, I know. Wow, real activity there for the investment banks, right? Yeah, as you point out, IPOs have been even further and fewer between those than M&A, which, you know, at least has kept a beat. We talk often about it. In broader context, of course, the gating issues, certainly regulatory when you're talking about big companies, but also trying to negotiate a price in the public markets right now is a very difficult thing to do when you've got the volatility and when you've got questions about potential recession coming. And so that has also been a gating issue. This is not a public company. It's a private company. Although, Leslie, by last accounts, at least, its last private market value was far below what they're paying. Yeah. So a significant premium here. And obviously the decision to use half cash, half stock for a company whose stock is down dramatically, who's been buying back, 5.1 million shares the last quarter. Kind of interesting in terms of how they went about doing it, given they're going to be, as you heard Shantanu say, spending a lot of that stock, so to speak, to acquire this company. And right now, the market not reacting particularly well.
All right, great. So some things that I liked about this video is the fact that they say, like, hey, they point out the fact that, yes, we are in a recession. Adobe is, their stock is looking pretty bad right now. I mean, you know, of course, if you're into stocks, please go ahead and, check out the Before the Billions channel as well. We do talk about a lot of these different finance-related topics over there as well. So let's go ahead and read some more of this article right quick. So it says, Adobe is paying 2021 prices. It's 2022. Wall Street hates it. Silicon Valley is thrilled. In a year that's featured exactly zero high-profile tech IPOs and far more headlines about mass layoffs than big funding rounds, Adobe's $20 billion acquisition of Figma on Thursday is what some might call a narrative violation. I like how they put it like that. There was no other bidder out there driving up the price, according to a person familiar with the matter who asked not to be named because the details are confidential. Okay. Figma's cloud-based designed software has been a growing headache for Adobe over the last few years. Exactly, it has been. The fact is that Figma made it so easy for a lot of people to be able to use their platform. It was free. Teens will be able to utilize it as well. And then also, just like how I said, it helped out with developers. So it helped with going from design to the actual code for developers. It actually compiled code for you. This was such a revolutionary software that I'm sure that Adobe was like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? Figma's out here, you know. They even came out with it's like Adobe, yeah, it came out Adobe XD, and then they had like Adobe Draw or something like that. They had like a few other, you know, alternatives, but Figma was, well, is or was, you know, the industry standard, right? So everybody was using it. It kind of reminds me of, hopefully, right, they don't charge you to use this new Figma or this new, you know, whatever they're going to call it, Adobe Figma, whatever they call it, right? Hopefully they don't charge you for it, but it reminds me of when Java started giving out licenses to companies, and companies had to pay for the ability to be able to use Java. I don't know if you guys remember that, but yeah, that was a huge deal as well. So let's go ahead and see what else they say. It's cheaper. See, there's even a free tier. Exactly, I use the free tier. Easier to use, collaborative and modern, and has been spreading like wildfire among designers at companies big and small. Whole teams would use Figma. It is a huge tool that a lot of companies use. Annualized recurring revenue is poised to more than double for a second straight year, surpassing $400 million in 2022. This was a significant threat to Adobe, Low Tony says. Founding managing partner of Plexo Capital, which invests in startups and venture funds, told CNBC's Tech Check on Thursday. This was very much both a defensive move, but also an eye towards this trend where design rules and design matters. Yeah, the design has to come first. That's why Adobe is paying roughly 50 times revenue following a stretch this year that saw investors dump stocks that were commanding sky-high multiples. For the top cloud companies in the BVP, NASDAQ Emerging Cloud Index, forward multiples have fallen to just over 9 times revenue from about 25 in February 2021. All right. So I'm not going to go through this whole article right here. I think it says pro, actually. Let me see. What is this? Yeah, I don't think it will let me watch it anyway. Oh, let's see. CNBC Pro. Yeah, no. I don't want to watch that full interview anyway. If you guys want to watch it, I'll have the link to the article in the description down below. All right, so it says Snowflake Atlassian, I believe that's how you pronounce it, and Cloudflare. So Atlassian is the company that creates Jira and Confluence. So I utilize them all the time as well. Great for keeping people on track for their projects. It is a great tool, and they even have it for free as well. There's a free tier for utilizing Jira and Confluence. So I would suggest you guys go ahead and check it out, especially for all the Scrum Masters out there. You most likely are going to be using Jira or some sort of similar tool. All right, so it says the 3 cloud stocks with the highest revenue multiples have plummeted 41%, 33%, and 51% this year, respectively. After the announcement on Thursday, Adobe shares sank more than 17%, their worst day since 2010. The company said in a slide presentation that the deal isn't expected to add to adjusted earnings until the end of year 3. Figma last raised private capital at a $10 billion valuation in June 2021, the peak of software mania. The company had benefited from the work from home movement during the pandemic as more designers needed tools that could help them collaborate while separated from their colleagues. Great point. I did not even realize that. Working from home has been fantastic for me and a lot of other people who are in tech. If you're in tech and you're being able to work from home, I guarantee you, like I'll say probably 80 to 90% of the people say it improves your work-life balance. For me personally, I absolutely love working from home. Now, I do know that there's people who like going into the office, but for people like me and others who, hey, they're actually going out of their way to make your life easier because you're working from home. And in addition to that, you also get to, be with family and, you don't have to waste money on gas and food and stuff like that. Hey, working from home has been great. All right, so it says, but now, even with more offices reopening, the hybrid trend has done nothing to take Figma off course. While other pandemic-friendly products like Zoom and DocuSign have slowed dramatically. Oh my gosh. Yes. Now Zoom has come in handy. I use Zoom all the time whenever I have panels. All right, so it says, given the plunge in cloud stocks, late-stage companies have steered clear of the IPO market and private financing in a lot of cases to avoid taking a haircut on their lofty valuations. Thomas Tungus, I believe is how you pronounce it, of Redpoint Ventures wrote in a blog post on Thursday that prior to this deal, U.S. venture-backed software M&A was tracking to its worst year since 2017. In such an environment, Figma's ability to exit at double its price from 15 months ago is a coup for early investors. The three venture firms that led Figma's earliest rounds, Index Ventures, Greylock Partners, and Cleaner Perkins, all own percentage stakes in the double digits. People familiar with the matter said that means they'll each return over $1 billion. Investors in 2021 round doubled their money. They include Durable Capital Partners and Morgan Stanley's Counterpoint. While those sort of numbers were routinely recorded during the record IPO years of 2020 and 2021, they are foreign this year as investors reckon with surging inflation, rising interest rates, and geopolitical unrest. Great points. Too young to drink. Oh, another point I wanted to go ahead and go to, okay? The guy, one of the founders of Figma, let's go ahead and get into this part. Too young to drink. Danny Reimer. Right, so who is Danny Reimer? Let's read this and I'll go ahead and show you guys who he is and also why he's important to this topic. A partner at Index Ventures and Figma board member. Oh, sorry, this is a different guy. Not Danny Reimer. It's somebody else. It's somebody else. All right, so Danny Reimer, a partner at Index Ventures and Figma board member, said the company was in position to get ready for an IPO and was in no hurry to tap the capital markets, either private or public. We had raised a lot of money at very good valuations and didn't need to raise any more money, said Reimer, whose firm first invested in Figma in 2013. The company was IPO-able. This really was more a question of what is the best way to achieve the goal of company, which is to democratize tools for design and creation across the globe. All right, so this is the guy right here, Dylan Field, right? He's the co-founder and chief executive officer of Figma Inc. in San Francisco. So this is, the co-founder, right? We're going to be going into him in just a second, but let's just see what else they have to say about this topic. So it says, Reimer said Figma has gone through quite a journey since he first met founder and CEO Dylan Field, who had dropped out of college to start the company as part of the Thiel Fellowship program, in which the tech billionaire Peter Thiel offered promising entrepreneurs $100,000 in grants. So the part that stands out is the dropped out of college to start the company, right? So let me tell you guys that he was in college. He was in a good college, right? He was in, let's see, have it here, Brown University. It's a private Ivy League research university, right? So Ivy League being one of the best, one of the top universities. You see this a lot with a lot of these tech billionaires. They usually go to these Ivy League colleges or universities, and they end up dropping out and starting a business that makes them a lot of money through investments and other funding sources. So I'm not telling anybody to drop out of college or anything, but what I am saying is that if you don't have a degree in computer science or a science-based major, or don't have a degree at all, that does not stop you from getting into tech. So if you don't have a degree, right, there are other avenues for you to be able to get into tech, and you can see it right here where Dylan, who is the CEO of Figma, just so happened to come across this fellowship right here, and was able to get $100,000 in grants. So, guys, let me just tell you, there is most definitely a whole bunch of different avenues for people to be able to get into tech and also be able to be successful as well. So don't feel ashamed or don't feel like you can't do it just because you didn't go to a 4-year university and get your bachelor's degree or get your master's in computer science. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's see what they say. For Adobe, Figma marks the company's biggest acquisition in its 40-year history by a wide margin. Its largest prior deal came in 2018 when Adobe acquired marketing software vendor Marketo for $4.75 billion. Oh my gosh, yo, that's the largest. They went $20 billion for Figma. The last one was $4.75 billion for the largest acquisition, right before this. So that is huge. They really felt a need to do this, right? Also, another thing I wanted to point out too is that for Adobe, in addition, I don't know if you guys knew this, in addition to having like the Creative Cloud, having Photoshop and Adobe After Effects and all these other things that you got to pay a subscription for, all of these different softwares that work very well with each other, they also then provide data to companies as well, right? Hopefully, you guys didn't know that, but Adobe actually helps with collecting clickstream data. So that's just another thing that I know about Adobe that is, pretty interesting. So Just a little trivia. All right, so let's go back into this. So it says before that, the biggest was a macro media for $3.4 billion in 2005. All right, so it says Adobe CEO. I'm not trying to butcher his man's name. So the Adobe CEO explained his company's rationale on CNBC, and we actually just saw that on the video. And he has explained his rationale on CNBC as company's stock ticker on the screen flashed bright red. So they're in the red right now. Right, I'm not going to read this because I know we already heard this part on the video. And then it says Adobe needs the growth and new user base from Figma to maintain its dominant position in design. For investors, the CEO can only ask them to play the long game. It is going to be a great value for their shareholders. And this is what the Adobe CEO says regarding Figma. All right, so that was the end of the video. We're not going to watch the full interview. I think you also, I don't know what CNBC Pro is. I probably have to check it out. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think about this topic. As you can see, I'm extremely excited about this news. It is something that I actually have worked with before. I've worked with both Adobe products and also with Figma as well. I've worked with Adobe before, one of my previous roles. And it is always interesting to see like these new acquisitions because there's something happening within the industry that may change up how tools are being created. And I just love the fact that this technology has continued to evolve. So just like how the Adobe CEO was saying, it's going to be a great value. And I do agree that it will be. I just hope that they do not start charging a subscription for Figma. So that being said, guys, please go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And also hit that bell notification icon if you want to be notified whenever I make new videos on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for rocking with me. I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Please go ahead and make sure to also join the Discord chat that is in the description down below. All right, guys, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I really do appreciate it.